Good evening and welcome to beautiful British Columbia. We are atop Burnaby Mountain, Simon Fraser University, and this is the 2026 NORCECA U19 Boys Continental Cup, the final match of the preliminary round for Costa Rica and Barbados, and boy, is it a big one. The winner qualifies for quarterfinals. The loser, just like that, cannot qualify for Worlds, and that is the big goal for 4 of these 8 teams going into this tournament. My name is Tim James, and I'm joined today by Ryan Adams, my broadcasting partner. And Ryan, I'm excited for this one. Talking about quickly Costa Rica, this is a team that has fallen in straight sets on back-to-back nights. Barbados also back-to-back nights falling in straight sets. We're going to talk a bit more about what you know about the countries, but let's get started here at 6 o'clock Pacific. We are officially underway. From the attack line was Bolonis Alvarado. Triple blocker, and this will be a Barbados point. So talking about this, let's talk about Costa Rica first. By the way, the team that is on the left side wearing the blue jerseys, what do you know from them? You come from Volleyball BC. What can you say?
Well, I don't know them necessarily from Volleyball BC, but my time spent with Athletes in Action, we spent a lot of time in Costa Rica, 3 or 4 years, have some good relationships there with some of the clubs, San Jose Volleyball Club. And, you know, they're going to be a good fundamentally, but maybe a little bit undersized, what we see here. Even compared to Barbados, I would say they look a little bit on the smaller side. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up against this Barbados team.
We are tied to 1 apiece. Montiel Orozco back to serve. He's an outside hitter. And that one he's dug up. This will be launched out the back, no touch, and a point for Costa Rica. Back-to-back points for the team wearing blue.
Yeah, and these teams are both young. I mean, in this tournament, generally, it's a younger tournament, internationally speaking. And you can still kind of see that even though this is their 3rd match, you can still see a little bit of nerves and hesitation as they play in this really crucial match for both of these teams.
Once again, setting for Barbados is Enrico Brown. This ball will go into the net. And there's one of the differences, Ryan, when I was talking to Steve Hewitson, one of the officials, he said there's going to be fewer whistles. That's something different in the international play.
Yeah, that's right. They've really laxed the rules on the international side, and that takes time to trickle down to the U Sports level, to the college level, and then to the club level. So we'll see that here.
Brown will go over to the left side, but that set is off. Can't connect with John, who was approaching from the left side, so it'll be a Costa Rica point. And the boys wearing blue are now ahead by 1. Aguero Porras drawing into the starting lineup on this Thursday. Nice serve. That ball handled, however. John going to work from the left side, couple of blockers, and John is going to get the better of them and pick up the kill for Barbados. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, great swing from John there. A little bit of out of system ball. Good job by the setter getting his feet there. Taller setter, Tim. And, obviously we're used to seeing taller setters at U Sports, but a tall 17-year-old setter, takes a bit of time to get grown into your body. So good job getting there, getting his hands on the ball, making a nice set.
Theon Burkett drawing into the starting lineup. Again, we've had some lineup changes from over the past few days as both teams are trying to shake off what happened. And hey, they had some tough opponents because both teams had to play Canada and had to play Mexico. And those two teams are going head-to-head coming up at 8 o'clock Pacific. 2 undefeated teams. Stay with us on CBC Sports. Brown, it'll be a set to the middle against a couple of blockers. Sent over shallow. And now John from outside of the court reaching back, drops this in, and he's able to put a hook on that with some spin and falls into the soft spot of the Costa Rica defense.
Yeah, both teams have a little bit too big soft spots there. Costa Rica or Barbados got out of it. Fortunately, Costa Rica didn't, and those are things that coaches aren't going to want to see at this stage of the tournament.
Kaylin Applewhite delivers this ball 3 feet too far. Another service error, and those are starting to add up on both sides.
Yeah, again, Tim, that to me just feels a little bit, they're both a little bit nervous. Teams aren't necessarily playing fully free yet. So hopefully as this set progresses, we find their flow on both these teams.
Alejandro Barona getting the serve across. Now Brown, back set. This will be tipped down the line. Easily handleable play is going to be blown down. And what did we have there?
A net touch from Costa Rica. Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit aggressive in those ones too because, the defense, did a good job of picking that roll shot up nice and early. And sometimes when you're a blocker, you get a little bit aggressive to try to get your hands on that roll shot. Hey, just let it go by. Let your defense pick it up.
Off of the John serve. Over to the right side and diving forward. An excellent defensive play coming from Yearwood. Yearwood diving forward once again, not going to get there. It's going to be a left side kill coming off the hand of Cedinho Arias.
Yeah, great. First pickup by Yearwood. Better shot from Costa Rica on that second roll shot attempt, right to the pot. Probably not Yearwood's ball, depends on their system, but he at least made the effort.
Yearwood stepping up now. Brown, big push over to the pin. Pierre going to work. This is handled back in the position 6. Left side approach for Costa Rica with a couple of blockers up, spinning that off the block and landing on the Barbados side. Cedinho Arias with the kill. A 2-point lead for Costa Rica in the first set.
Yeah, when you're not the tallest teams at the tournament, you got to do something else a little bit different. That time, great speed to the pin in transition. Those are kind of the advantages that these teams are going to have to find and create to be successful.
And the Costa Ricans, they've been the team with a bit more energy compared to Barbados, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. It's a middle run that comes right back onto the Barbados side, but even for the national anthem, you have Barbados really just standing at attention and just maybe humming along or anything. But Costa Rica, they were singing along. They were, arm over arm and really just connecting. And here we're even seeing them clapping their hands, the bench, the fans, trying to get this team going as they're up by 3 points. On a 3-point run. And Pierre is shut down. Once again, a big block going up. And that is enough as John Stewart, head coach of Barbados, calls his first timeout.
Yeah, I was excited to have some of the Spanish-speaking teams, a lot of Latin flair. I really enjoy my time. Anytime I travel to South America, Central America, just the culture, they're excited about everything. Lots of energy, lots of excitement. So, not surprised by that. What we saw from Costa Rica and their fans heading into this into this match.
Now, I was mentioning before, and I wasn't necessarily talking about from the volleyball BC perspective with Costa Rica, but just from trying to tee up on who you are. You've got obviously some experience with volleyball BC, but even Barbados is not known to be a volleyball country. They're still hanging around here, however.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I mean, they're definitely, athletic. They're taller, a bit taller, I would say, than Costa Rica. But you can tell they're quite a bit behind as far as the progression of the volleyball system. Even just, looking at something as simple as how fast they're running their middle attack. It's a pretty slow middle attack. And I get that, I always like to run a faster middle attack if we're maybe not as talented as a team, and run a bit slower to the outside just to kind of have some sort of advantage there. And they have pretty slow middle attack so far.
You're with too much power as he sent that ball over the net. Now an attack by Costa Rica. Barbados able to run in system. Pierre falling away, able to make contact. This is a back row run that's going to be sent out of play. Barbados point. That goes off the hand of the captain, Bolanos Alvarado.
Yeah, and you can see the Costa Rican coach still, hey, good run, good job. I thought that was a nice run, really smooth in that transition, not giving up any tempo, keeping that rhythm flowing on the offensive side of the ball.
Brown going over to the left side. Pierre hits that cross court, dug up, however. Campos. Costa Rica will pick up the point. Partly thanks to Campos with that dig.
Yeah, and a great swing. I mean, we talked to him, some players hit the ball really fast, some people hit the ball really hard, some players hit the ball really heavy, and that's a heavy swing from the Costa Rican in the back row there. Just lots of pace and power behind it.
Cedinho Arias goes into the net. And now back for his second rotation serving is the setter, Brown, who got a bit banged up yesterday. A couple of different plays, one landing on what I thought was his ankle, and he didn't seem too happy about it initially, but not seeing any worse for wear from Brown, the setter. And this one's going to be sent over. The other play was Brown, the setter, bumping into a teammate and a scramble toward the score table, and he was a little slow to get up, but again, I'm not seeing anything, Ryan, from him. He seems to be playing just fine out there, not anything related to injury.
Yeah, so far it looks all right, just like that sweet one-hand set we saw from Costa Rica there.
Brown able to set that one a little away from the net, and Callan will send this out of play, and another point for Costa Rica. Back-to-back points for the team that is now up by 5 points in the opening set. This is match number 3 on the day. We are almost done the preliminary round. The team that finishes first in each pool will get a bye and automatically go to the semi-final. A huge block there, and coming over from the middle, Barona Ramirez. Excellent positioning, Costa Rica. With no libero out there right now, let's take another look at this.
Yeah, and that's a great block by both players. The outside blocker doing a good job reaching back into the seam, and the middle blocker doing a good job of getting his feet there and hands into that seam, taking away all that space from the Barbados hitter.
Yearwood with the first contact. Here's Callan going up against the block. And this will be a Barbados point as that goes off the block, makes contact with the antenna. And Barbados will get the side out and try to switch momentum. As rotating to the back row is Pierre Gill, the captain for Barbados.
Well, I like how Callan was a little bit more aggressive with that swing. The one we saw earlier, kind of rolled it out the back. Hey, if you're going to make errors, make them aggressively.
There's the set to the middle and the assist. Point for Costa Rica. 6-point lead here in the opening set.
Good job by Ramirez getting around into that ball pass a little bit left to center and gets his feet there up and available.
Aguero Lee. Couple of blockers going up against Bolanos Alvarado. And this one will be hit well out of play. Murillo Dobles is off the mark.
Yeah, a little bit of a misset there by Lee. And again, I've said this before, Tim, in our broadcast, you can miss a little bit low, a little bit tight, but you got to keep the hitter in rhythm. They can adjust as long as they can keep their approach rhythm. And that time, hitter was way out of rhythm and hit the ball way out of bounds.
Brown needs a back set, couple of blockers up, and this will drop in. Point for Barbados. And one of the notes from the Costa Rica side, as we have seen that switch with Mario Dobles, who has been the center the past couple of matches, but now you're seeing Ogiero Lee come in and run the offense for Costa Rica. Both teams in double digits. Mario Dobles couldn't finish. Now John from outside of the court puts some topspin on that. Couple of contacts by Costa Rica. Now can they settle things down, running the offense from the right side. The captain with a kill. Hammering it down the line, and Balones Alvarado picks up the kill.
Yeah, great swing. Again, he's got that heavy arm, which allows you to kind of pull up once in a while. So to have a heavy arm and great contact, really great to see, especially at this age and stage of development.
Balones Alvarado turned 17 earlier this year. His birthday back in January. This is the U19 tournament. John going to work. Balones Alvarado with an impressive pipe ball, taking Yearwood down to the ground, the libero on the Barbados side.
Yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest. Alvarado's not getting more volume here, just the way he is swinging and attacking on that ball. He not only hits it, good run, but hits it to the sideline corners, not just hitting straight ahead on that pipe. Really great play.
Once again, the crowd, the bench, trying to get behind their team. And there's the tip, and this will just drop, looks like out of play.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a delay there with the official signaling that. Randy Sanchez is referee 1 in this matchup from Mexico.
Yeah, great call by Sanchez. I mean, we have 4 lines people, and none of them called that to me. I know it's a pretty obvious call, but a good job by the head official saying, hey, no, he was kind of waiting, I think, to see if his lines people would call it, and then knew it was a touch and just kind of made his own call.
There's the middle run. Good block on the Barbados side. Balones Alvarado sending it over. And tracking at the net and making a mistake. Cedeno Arias couldn't send that over. And you'll have a quick discussion with Roberto Carlo Quesada, the coach for Costa Rica.
Yeah, 16-12. This is a good time for Barbados to make a little bit of a close this gap, a bit of a run here.
Who's going to play the second ball? And that's something that we have seen. Mistakes made by teams previously that will be a Barbados point, but I just want to touch on that previously over the last 2 days. It's something when you have a team coming together that might not necessarily play a whole lot together. Who's going to take that second ball there? It seems like a straightforward thing when you're playing club, when you're playing for your university or school. And here's an ace. Barbados now behind by 2, and there you go. Ryan just mentioned it moments ago, closed the gap, and now Costa Rica. That's their first timeout.
Yeah.
They're ahead by 2.
Yeah, great job by Barbados, kind of keeping pressure on Costa Rica on the service, especially serving at their front row left side. Seemed like a great target there, and then going back a few plays to him there earlier. I don't know if you saw, but that throw was called from the official, and again, just with the rule changes, but that is one of the things they are looking to kind of clamp down on is the throwing motion. So yes, we've talked about putting the whistles away a little bit more than we see at the university level, at the high school and club level. But that throwing action is something I think the FIB is trying to come down on and not allow athletes to kind of really just manipulate the ball. And it's quite easy to score when you have that in your tool belt. So they're trying to maybe clamp down that here this weekend as well.
And there's another one that I haven't seen that I really haven't had experience with unless I'm playing, Wednesday volleyball recreation. The ball can go off the roof, and if it stays on your side, it is still a playable ball. Mm-hmm. Have not seen that in Pool A so far. Could this be the night? And the server is iced, you could say, from that timeout call by Costa Rica. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. And it'll be the middles rotating front to back on the Costa Rica side. Verona Ramirez to serve. Brown had to get a bit lower to try to get that set off. And that's John, who's using the block to score off the wipe. It's now a 2-point deficit for Barbados as we get to the late stages of this opening set.
Yeah, and even the way Barbados is kind of even just, John, they're jogging to the ball. A little bit more bounce in the step, a little bit more shoulders, head up. They're kind of feeling a bit better about themselves right now.
Here's Brown. It'll be a middle run. And that one will touch the floor. A bit of a delay in the official Randy Sanchez calling that, but that hits the ground. And Barbados now behind by 1.
Yeah, great call there, down, and you see he gave a little bit of a look to his official and gave her a little bit of thumbs up after, and I like that communication from the officials to their alliance people saying, hey, good job.
Quick reaction by Brown. 3 contacts, sending over a free ball. Showtime now, running the offense. Aguero Lee. And this will turn into a kill for Costa Rica. And once again, it's a 2-point lead. 25, the magic number if you're new to volleyball. 25 to win the set, win by 2.
Yeah, great swing again from the big left side from Costa Rica, and just so smooth, Tim, in his approach and in his arm swing. I think that's what kind of always surprises you when someone hits the ball that hard. Looks like they're not even trying.
Watson Brenes coming in, and now looks like he might get involved as that ball will be sent over top of him. So this will actually be a Barbados point. Watson Brenes, he was the player yesterday. He went hard into the stands. I think row 2 or row 3. It took him a little while to get up. Not sure if that's why he didn't get the starting position here on the Thursday night. Different look for Costa Rica, but there is one common name, and that's Bolaños Alvarado.
Yeah, Alvarado just bringing it, man. I think this is, he has an arm swing that, can rival definitely some of our top U Sport men's players. It's really fun to watch.
Yearwood's going to watch that go by, and that's a good decision. As we've seen Yearwood as the libero during this tournament, we've also seen Mikhail Gooding spend some time as the libero wearing that contrasting jersey for Barbados. Setter to the back row. Brown. There's Watson Brenes with the 3rd contact for Costa Rica. Now it just turns into a single block, but there's the captain with a shutdown. Bolaños Alvarado says absolutely not. Take another look at this beautiful play.
Wow, what a block. I mean, I was like, well, he's going to go up and crank this ball. And he did crank it. It just got blocked back the other way. This is kind of volleyball we want to see at this level. Super exciting.
That not going to be super exciting, but by the way, if you want to get in touch with myself, Tim James, or Ryan Adams, you can find me on Instagram, send messages as we've been doing throughout this tournament. Username is timjamesmedia.ca. Send a message and we will try to get to that during this broadcast on CBC Sports. And using the hands in a smart play, no, this is going to be a lift.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about, Tim. This is the rule change for this year. Then it's the first time I've actually kind of see it played out. It's one of the very first international competitions of this sort of spring-summer seasons of, VNL starting up soon and Olympic qualifiers coming soon. But
Brown taken out, so out of system. It's now Yearwood going over to the left side, and John is going to launch that one and makes Roberto Carlo Quesada do a bit of a dance, but that will be a Costa Rica point.
Yeah, and I like the mindset of John being a bit more aggressive than he started this match, but probably the wrong time and the wrong situation to kind of hit that ball out of bounds there.
Standing serve coming from Watson Brenes. We've seen a few different players in this tournament go with a standing serve as opposed to a jump serve. Costa Rica once again playing well at the net and scoring the point.
Yeah, I mean, these are really, really great sets coming from Brownie, and then just they're almost too good. His right side attackers getting so excited and kind of getting a little bit narrow vision and kind of just hitting straight ahead. And at this stage, especially against the man across the net, just can't hit the ball straight where you're facing. You got to kind of hit it off the line of your approach a little bit, off the edges of blocks. And so, yeah, great sets from his setter, but almost too good, and he's got to stay a bit more disciplined through the rest of the play.
And if you are just joining us, there is a lot on the line in this one with Barbados and Costa Rica. The winner will move on to the quarterfinals. The loser will unfortunately not be able to qualify for the World Championship. Now, even if you win this match, there's still more work to do in the next round in the quarterfinals. However, the dream would come to an end. However, when I say elimination match, to clarify, there will still be that 7-8 battle that will decide the placing here at this tournament. So it won't be the final match for either of these teams, no matter the result. But of course, you want to be on the winning side to continue on to the quarterfinals and see where you can go from there. Watson Brenes gets us back underway. Brown will be setting that over to the left side. He's going to go down the line and score. And a quick point out of that Barbados timeout. No more timeouts for Barbados to take, and they trail by 1.
Yeah, and that's a great, again, love the mindset before when John just made a wrong decision at that time, but kept it, didn't get passive with it. Nice cross body down the line.
As Mario Dobles giving that ball over to Bolanos Alvarado.
Alvarado's so good, so smooth, so aggressive. I almost want to take a video of his arm swing approach and send it to my good friends Nick and Misha from Arm Swing Academy. And just I would probably show his arm swing to the athletes I work with. Just so great.
You could say it's textbook.
It's textbook.
Bolanos Alvarado delivers that ball over. Brown going over to John. Couple of blockers there. Big block, and that's going to go off the hands of Verona Ramirez. Big point for Costa Rica as here we are at set point in set number 1.
And here we're seeing the replay. Good lateral movement from the Costa Rican middle. Doesn't give up. Hey, if you don't go, you won't know. Didn't give up. Got his hands in space. Chance for set point.
Big toss. Nice serve. Yearwood equal to the task. There's Pierre. Running the pipe ball goes into the net, and it's Costa Rica. They were in the lead for the most part in this set, but Barbados was able to push. Barbados, can they come back in the second set? Stay with us. You are watching the 2026 NORCECA U19 Boys Continental Cup on CBC Sports. Outside Simon Fraser University, a partly cloudy sky and 14 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much for joining us, because inside the gymnasium it is match number 3 for both these teams, Barbados and Costa Rica. And for the first time this tournament, Costa Rica has won a set. Can they continue that momentum? My name is Tim James. Ryan Adams doing the color commentary. We are live on CBC Sports. And Ryan, this is the third matchup, so finally these players are really starting to get a sense of what it's like to play with each other. But did you even notice that they were playing just more in sync come the end of that last set?
Yeah, I thought as the set went on, Tim, we saw a bit more aggressiveness from both sides, a bit more flow. You know, still some things here or there that they can probably, I'm sure, improve on. I'm sure their coaches are talking about those things, but really you just got to play within, in your system, finding that kind of ideal flow state. And some of that you got to fight for. It doesn't always come easy. You got to work through it. But it starts with communication, starts with a bit of energy, right? And a bit of kind of have each other's back and going for it. So we'll see, Barbados kind of did make that push in that middle of that first set. And we're there. So can they keep that and kind of keep the score a bit closer towards the end of the second set?
And this really is a tournament that is focused on volleyball, and I say that for a couple of reasons, because one, these players on these teams, they're coming from different parts of their nation. They might not be playing together on a frequent basis, so there's also that, but it's also focused on volleyball because the crowd is only a small slice of this. Now, we do have some passionate fans from Costa Rica. I can see the Barbados flags down to my right. There are some passionate fans here, but it's not like the noise is going to be a difference maker. It's really focused on yourselves and focused on your team.
Yeah, sometimes you got to make your own energy, make your own noise, and go for it from there. So to speak about, I'm really loving those jerseys, Tim. I don't know if those are volleyball jerseys, Barbados jerseys, but those are pretty cool. And it's a little flag on the side. So.
And Ryan, I don't know what it's worth, but in my design sense, we're looking across the court here at all the different flags. Barbados, I think, has the best looking flag, okay? Yeah. And I'm a proud Canadian, but there's something about that flag. It stands out to me.
Yeah, super cool flag, and I think even just the way the shirts are that the fans are wearing, maybe we'll get to capture that in the monitor at some point in time, but even that little bit brighter yellow pops a bit more, and we'll see how second set the flag inspires Barbados to go here.
Mario Dobles gets this underway, and this will be Barbados' point, as that's an attack error. Montiel Orozco hits that out of play, so now it'll be Barbados' first serve of this set, and this will go to Pierre Gill. Pierre, big toss, put some spin on the serve. It's handled though. 3 contacts coming for Costa Rica and then going down the line, Bolonos Alvarado. But he is off the mark, so back-to-back points for Barbados.
Yeah, Alvarado, good swing there. I mean, his coach is giving me a little bit of a, a little bit of an earful about that miss, but he just missed it. You know, he's been on fire so far tonight.
Rio Dobles. As that was Watson Brenes who couldn't get it through. Now a right side attack coming from Bolanos Alvarado. Rio Dobles going back over to the captain. And it's mishandled by Brown. A playable ball falling on the Barbados side. And they started with a good start here in the second set, but an ugly play to give Costa Rica a point.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, a good rally for the most part, and then just a bad way to end it. Those tips just cannot score at this level, or really any level. 17U volleyball.
Bolanos Alvarado has his serve handled. The tip is going to drop inside, and there's another ugly play as you have 3 players looking around and just saying who's going to go for the ball. Nobody does. And Roberto Carlo Casada, the coach, unhappy about that, no doubt.
Yeah, and you know, if teams are getting together like our team did, just training for a week, right? Then yeah, like you were talking about, going to have some of those miscommunications. But better to have both players go versus nobody going and miscommunicate, and then afterwards figure it out.
Watson Brenes from the right side picking up the kill for Costa Rica. It's Barbados looking at a 1-point lead. Montiel Orozco delivers this ball across. 6 blue shirts out there right now for Costa Rica with the middles going front to back. Brown now on the move. And that'll be Watson Brenes putting that ball back on the Barbados side. 3-all the score after it was 2-0 just moments ago for Barbados.
Yeah, smart play there by Watson. I was nervous for a moment. He was maybe going to be a bit too aggressive and find that net or hit that out, but good job just kind of using both hands, flushing it to the side.
Now Brown turn into a middle run. No blockers going up. And this will be Barbados called on the net. So that's 3 straight points now for Costa Rica.
Yeah, and the Costa Rican official, the head coach, wanting that call done earlier, but I thought the officials made the right call of not making it. Setter was definitely not all the way over the center line the first time.
Montiel Orozco serving from the far side, adjusting where he makes that approach. There's Ashby on second contact. Rio Dobles. Now Brown on the move, really one option here. John will send this over. Can Costa Rica settle things down? That set was tight to the net, but an excellent finish coming off the hand of Watson Brenes.
Yeah, great set from Costa Rica there, and an even better finish. Sometimes when you have so much space, you maybe miss-hit it, but great finish from his teammate. Great job of the sitter getting chest to net, kind of flipping and rotating, reversing it, and putting that thing down.
Montiel Orozco. John mishandles it. That goes toward the teammates, diving over his Yearwood. And you got to wonder, in this case it wasn't the libero, but could we see a switch just to change things up defensively in the serve receive, as we've seen Yearwood playing. We've also seen Gooding coming in.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know the teams well enough, Tim. This is my first game. You might know a little bit better, but John is the head coach, last name John, and John just went off, so I wonder if that's a father-son combination. It's always hard to coach your own kid and harder to sub him off to sometimes.
Kyle Greenidge coming in, but this ball is not going to go to him. It's going to go to Yearwood instead, but Kyle will send it over on third contact. Rio Dobles. Watson couldn't get through. Back onto the Barbados side. Running the offense, middle run, Ashby looking good. And we see a bit of a game of Tough Mudder jumping over his side. Everyone's okay, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm just glad nobody here was on this replay. I'm glad nobody was standing there when the ball was kicked. You watch how hard this ball gets kicked into the side. But, you know, if they could play the side balls, that would have made things interesting off the wall and in back in the court. That would have been the right play, a little bit of squash.
How many years away are we from that rule? They can play off the sidewalls.
Hopefully a few. There is, volleyball, a pretty big sport, especially in places like New York where there's not a lot of places to play. You use a racquetball court and you can hit the ball off the wall.
Watson tipping us over. Yearwood, nice job getting up, back into position on defense. Tracked at the net. Couple of contacts by Costa Rica. That's going to go out of play and another Barbados point.
Yeah, good job from both sides, being a bit more efficient and fluid on the offensive side, taking some of those, transitions and turning them into creating opportunities to score, and they got to keep doing that longer and longer and longer. Not just one rally, but 2, 3, 4. Make the other team earn their points.
Kellen Applewhite with the delivery. Barbados trailing by 1. The block going up. Now can they settle things down? Brown. Yearwood's second ball over to Brown. The setter making a move, and he's going to go down the line to score. The assist to the libero, Yearwood.
Yeah, well, it helps when you're that big of a setter. It wasn't the best hit, but because he's so tall and so up there, he's able to find leverage, find space, and throw that ball down. And here we are, Tim, 6-6 in this important second set for Barbados.
It's a 3-point run for Barbados. Kellen Applewhite getting that ball across. Brown on the move. Making sure to call that so his teammates don't go for it. Rio Dobles. There's a back row run, no contact. Point for Barbados. Alanos Alvarado was claiming there was some sort of touch. Now looking over to the coach, but not the case.
Yeah, it was hard to tell. I thought maybe there was a slight touch, but I don't know if he's raising his hand there, but he hits the ball again so hard that sometimes it's hard to find it when it's that fast.
Barbados is now up by 1. The block a little late getting over and capitalizing on that. Watson Brenes.
Yeah, Brenes doing a good job. He's getting good sets too, but seems to me so far, Tim, he likes to hit that line shot, so we'll see if Barbados adjusts their block or their defense, but can't let him just tee off like that.
Watson Brenes with his standing serve. Barbados going to work. Ashby with a middle run, and Watson Brenes will go back to serve.
And like I mentioned earlier, Tim, this is the one change I'd probably make with Barbados. I'd probably run a little bit quicker. When you have those shorter middles, sometimes just running them faster actually kind of makes them a bit more successful.
This time this ball will not be sent to the front row middle. Instead it's a pipe ball that was taken by Pierre Gill. Gill with the first contact. Now over to Kyle. Puts some roll on that. Goes off the block and drops into the soft spot in the defense for Costa Rica. The teams exchanging points here in the second set. We're tied at 8.
And definitely better volleyball or better flow from both sides, Tim, today in the second set. And we'll see kind of who can maintain it the longest here. Right now, 8-8 in the second.
Greenidge. Getting that ball across. This is going to be sent down the line, and it's a point. Cedeno Arias picking up the kill.
Yeah, Arias almost like a little beat shot there, a little bit. Even dropped his elbow slightly. Still finding the roll shot to that line, paints it. It's one of the benefits of having these 4 lines officials that they kind of get all the angles correct.
There's Brown with the dump. You talk about a tall setter, but he's going to be called here by the first official with a lift. Randy Sanchez from Mexico making that call.
Yeah, and I think he decided a little bit late, I think, and that was what cost him. He made a decision. He was seeing the replay. I like the decision, but just maybe a little bit late. That's tough. That's a tough call.
Brown going over to Pierre. That ball popped up. Nice job there by Aguedes Campos. Brown, Kyle running out of the pipe. Barbados scoring once again. Not afraid to run that pipe. We've seen that the last few plays.
Yeah, not afraid to run it, but I think Costa Rica has to stay a little bit lighter on their feet on defense. It's not like Barbados is pounding that pipe down at them, right? So stay a little bit lighter, able to kind of move and extend when necessary.
Rio Dobles setting that a bit too far over onto the Barbados side, and it will be a Barbados point.
Yeah, a little bit tight. Yeah, a little bit tight. I'm surprised that set, to be honest, wasn't called.
No libero on this rally for Barbados. Yearwood is off, so is Gooding. It'll be a Costa Rica point, so Ashby won't have to play defense. He will head off, and Yearwood will return to the floor.
And you see on the replay, just so smooth, so efficient with his movements. Not any wasted energy, and that also kind of allows his arm swing to be even that faster, that quicker.
Rona Ramirez The middle, serving the ball across. So once again, no libero, but this time on the Costa Rica side. Yearwood pops this up. Brown, the set from the backcourt. Kyle from beyond the 3-meter line gets that attack off. Now Kyle over to Brown. Limited options. Goes over to Pierre with the cross court. Will this go back to the Barbados side? No, it's going to go out. Point for Barbados.
Yeah, good job by Barbados, just staying steady. You know, they don't necessarily have one dominant player like Costa Rica has, but everybody's doing a good job of playing their role, playing their part. And Setter's doing a good job of distributing the ball kind of, evenly to make Costa Rica still guess a little bit.
Campos. Yearwood gets under that. Just one contact for Barbados. Costa Rica going back to work offensively, and it's back over to a familiar target, Bolanos Alvarado. He's shut down by the double block on the Barbados side.
Yeah, shut down. Good job from Barbados there, being really positive with their hands. Those kind of low, fast, that's sometimes easy to get a little bit too high. Good job just sealing up and over.
Bolanos Alvarado taking Yearwood down to the ground, and he has seen some volume in this matchup. And we are tied at 12. And Ryan, you were talking about the good pace here in the second set. I'm having fun here. Yeah, it's definitely a better pace. Teams are definitely a bit more settled into the match, and more and more fans are going to start getting here too, want to kind of come for the Canada match, which is next. Collin launches this one out. Point for Costa Rica. Yeah, I don't mind that miss. It's a high extended miss, just up and over the top of the block. Just missed it. That takes a lot of talent, a lot of springs to get up that high. Rio Dobles going over to the left side, but off of the block. Campos couldn't even get there. He was in tight for the coverage. Barbados showing off what they can do with the block. Yeah, doing a really good job in the block. A little bit of a bad decision, I would say, there from the outside hitter from Costa Rica. He's done such a good job for the most part, but these kind of off-speed, half-speeds, he's really dropping his arm low, not really staying high and extended through the ball. Rio Dobles going over to the right side this time, and once again it's the block. Kyle and Davis, big, tall Davis, getting the job done. 14-13 the score for Barbados. Yeah, here we see on the replay, great job from Kyle, just staying positive, staying pressure. And so I thought he had a lot of line there, and that's why I was kind of a little bit frustrated with his coach getting on him before for that line shot he missed, because it was the right decision. And his coach was like, no, just hit it straight ahead. Well, that's what happens when you hit it straight ahead. Campos taking that ball with his setter right there against some miscommunication we're seeing on second ball, and Costa Rica will get the point despite that confusion. Yeah, Costa Rica gets the point, and those are the points that are going to cost you if you're Barbados. You cannot give those free points. They basically give you an overpass situation, and you have two guys going up for it. One of them gets on the net. You just cannot give teams at this level that kind of point. Back for his second rotation, serving in the second set, Bolanos Alvarado, who is also a threat from the back row, delivers this ball to Yearwood on his serve. Brown, big push over to Kyle from the pin, delivers a beauty that ricochets up to the second level here at SFU. Yeah, Kyle, and that's why I was okay with his miss earlier. It was an aggressive miss. He had full extension, so he stays with it, full extension. I mean, he's hitting over top of those blockers, Tim. I know it was a bit of a seam, but he still went over that. Corey Davis. Now Brown, who bumped into his teammate as Callan was in the way. Bolanos Alvarado back on to the Costa Rica side. Will he be the target? No, it's over to the left side. Couple of blockers back onto the Costa Rica side. Now this is going to be sent to wide open court, but 1 foot too far. It was the right idea, the wrong execution. Yeah, exactly, and that's unfortunate. And that comes with just play, more and more play. And obviously, these guys have played a lot of volleyball, but playing a lot of volleyball at this level, when the pressure is at the way it is, where they have to win this game to move on in the tournament, it's just a bit different executing here versus, say, in the gym at home. Montiel Orozco, he went on a service run earlier on, part of a 4-point run for Costa Rica earlier on in this set. But a ball handling error, an obvious one on the Barbados side, gives Costa Rica the point. Yeah, and really that's 3 points now for Costa Rica that they haven't earned, and I'm sure they're happy for that. But if you're Barbados, you've done such a good job in other areas
and then you're just kind of letting Costa Rica kind of stay in this set by giving them these easy free points that they haven't really had to do anything to earn.
And what are you thinking about this timeout at this point? I mean, it's only a 1-point difference. That was an ugly play that we just saw, but I think the timeout's more than just one play itself.
Yeah, one play. I think they just probably say, hey, we need to settle down. We need to execute when we have the opportunity. Let's over-communicate about things and situations, and then the rest of it is great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing a good job with your pass. Offense is working really well. Keep swinging away. Keep covering. But, yeah, it's just those kind of in-between plays that are costing them. And that, to me, that just shows a little bit of lack of experience for the players on the floor and maybe a little bit of lack of, connection between each other.
Tim James and Ryan Adams with the call. We are live on CBC Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. This broadcast presented by Explore Burnaby. And we are in the beautiful city of Burnaby, atop Burnaby Mountain. You fly into the city of Vancouver, and then it's just a short drive away, a neighboring city, where you have all this green space. You have Simon Fraser University, Swangard Stadium. We got a lot going on in Burnaby. Oh yeah, in Metrotown. You got to talk about the mall too.
Metrotown, but about the mall. Well, and maybe you've mentioned this, Tim, but I know we have international fans, but probably with the SFU, if you don't know, plays in the NCAA. You can still see that sign up there, but just got admitted to U Sports University. They're coming back.
Here's Brown, back step. Who's that going to? Kayal will end up taking it. Right side swing. He's going to score. Watson Brenes, who didn't start this one, but he has played impressive. And I mean, he stood out yesterday with some of his acrobatics into the stands, but he is playing well offensively.
Yeah, I think Costa Rica needs to find him a bit more volume here, especially to close out this second set.
Montiel Orozco hits that ball into the net. It's a 1-point deficit now for Barbados as Callan will go back to serve. Callan was part of his service run earlier on this set. That sent at a sharp angle, almost tags the coach, John Stewart, out. And Barbados and Costa Rica tied at 1. Both these teams have only played in 3-set matches. We've had some quick ones. This one could go longer than 3. Here's Brown. Kayal hits into the block. Rio Dobles back over to the right side. Was there any touch? No, sent clean out. Watson Brenes charged with an attack error.
Yeah, 2 attack errors from Watson, and Tom Center said a little bit higher, which I get, but you can't do it after you're the one who made the error. Just your setter knows he'll do a better job next time.
Here's Brown. Kayal with a block going up once again, and Costa Rica picking up another big block. That is now the 6th point for Watson. 5 kills and 1 block.
Yeah, 6 point, and maybe the 6th finger wag too. We've seen from Watson out there. He's looking a little bit of edge, which I like. You kind of need at this level. You can't get too carried away with it. You got to make sure you back it up.
Brown passes this ball up. Kayal off the attack. Kayal looking to send it over shallow. Takes Costa Rica out of system. Doesn't matter. They're going to have their star player running out of the pipe. Couldn't finish, however. Brown, big push over to Kayal to the pin. Rio Dobles. He's looking to turn and burn, and he does. 2-ball. Brown tried that earlier on. Couldn't get it done, but it's Mario Dobles picking up the kill as the setter.
Yeah, great job here. Waits, and goes. And yeah, that front row left side blocker's got to stay with him a little bit longer just to see if he does. Is he going to block or dump, sorry.
Kayal.
Ooh, yep.
Play blown down. Costa Rica will be called. Point awarded to Barbados off of the double contact. We are tied at 19. In the previous set, it was a Costa Rica win, 25-21. Looks like it could be a tighter margin here. Meantime, a substitution on the Costa Rica side as we see returning to the floor, Guillermo Lee. Guillermo Lee, one of the starters. He's going to take over running the offense here. Rio Dobles, an explosive swing. He was just a setter a few moments ago. Now Campos. This time out of the back. Lonis Alvarado will not get a point as he's denied by the Barbados block, which has been big.
Yeah, and this is a change here from Barbados. They're making sure that they're helping out on that pipe, all three blockers, because it's been so effective. Good job by the coaching staff to kind of implement that change here in the second set.
Rio Dobles looking to go down the line. Brown set from the backcourt. Over to Pierre. Rolls this in. From one center to another, now to a right side. Here's Kyle from behind the 3-meter line and banging his chest with excitement is Rio Dobles.
Yeah, 2020, lots to get excited about. Big block from the little middle up front there. And you know what? He does a really good job, even though he's not that tall, Tim, does a really good job reading and reacting and getting in the right space at the right time.
Brown to Pierre, and looks like it goes off the head of Rio Dobles. Hope he's all right. Initially touched his head. And this will be rocketed over. It'll be a Costa Rica point. And again, Rio Dobles touching his head. And this is where sometimes you get concerned about concussion, that type of thing. He's got a big smile on his face, however.
Yeah, got a big smile on his face, and hopefully he's okay there. But, I mean, hey, you got the ball up.
Yep.
Got the ball up.
1 point lead for Costa Rica. Brown pushing over to Pierre. He's away from the net, the block, but Pierre able to recover his ball. Brown takes this tight. Now it's Yearwood's second ball. Passes this over to Pierre. Two blockers up. Scramble on the Costa Rica side. Who's going to take that second ball? Eventually it's sent over. Here's Brown. Pierre redirects off the block. Campos, a nice defensive play to keep the ball alive. This is pushed deep. Yearwood backpedaling, gets that to his setter, Pierre. A couple of blockers that are cross court. Campos couldn't get to it. Pierre and Barbados picking up the point after one of the most exciting rallies we've seen on this Thursday night.
Yeah, here we see in the replay, big swing off the front row left side defender's hands and then to the libero's head. Two headshots in a row here. Let's see if we get a third.
Joshua Ashby picking up the ace.
Well, not a headshot, but maybe that affected the libero, the headshot he took, because that ball just, it's one of those balls, coaches talk about, hey, make sure you follow the ball back to the line, which, sometimes you don't have enough time to do that. But that ball definitely, the passers had time to kind of work with it a little bit longer to see if it was going to drop in. But nope, just kind of made that decision pretty early, and they were pretty wrong.
Barbados in a good position right now with Costa Rica taking their first timeout, first of two. You have two timeouts if you need them in the set. The previous timeout was back when momentum was potentially changing. It was a 16-15 lead for Costa Rica, and Barbados called the timeout. And now here we are. Good start here to Pool A, and still to come. We've got Canada and Mexico, the two undefeated teams. And Ryan, I know you haven't been following this tournament as closely here, but there's a guy named Romero on Mexico, and he's pretty good. That's the hint.
He's pretty good.
You've got JJ Squared, of course, on Team Canada. A couple of threats offensively with the initials JJ. We'll get to that a little later on. Colanos Alvarado rockets that one over, just one contact. Colanos Alvarado again. Will hit that toward position 6 and score, and we are tied at 22.
Yeah, great job there. Again, a little bit of an off speed, but still keeps his arm extended, doesn't slow down his approach, kind of goes all the way through, keeps it all the way the same until the very end when he makes a slight change in his swing.
Here's Barona Ramirez, turned 17 last month. Pierre getting the best of the block, double block there. Rio Dobles clapping his hands in frustration. It's a point for Barbados, and now they have a 1 point lead. Again, 25, the magic number, win by 2. Setter to the back row for Barbados. Off of the Enrico Brown serve. Colanos Alvarado, no surprise, he gets the set over to him. And he is leading right now when it comes to points in this match.
Yeah, Barbados coach not super happy. I can understand that's the ball that needs to be picked up, at any time, but especially 23-23 or 22-23, now 23 all.
Brown, back set. This is able to go clean through. It turned into a one-on-one, And Pierre Gill with the last laugh, and get an extra pat there from Callan, who appreciates the effort.
Yeah, and here they're talking about, it's like, oh, I didn't touch it, but they're saying, oh, well, that ball was still in. It was still called in, so it doesn't really matter whether you touched it or not.
Yeah, there was some brief discussion there with Jeffrey Moreno, referee 2 on the line from the Dominican Republic. Off the Pierre serve, Mario Dobles. Bolanos Alvarado, the kill this time from the right side. We are tied at 24. Once again, it's win by 2.
Yeah, 24-24. This is where you want to be if you're a team at this level. Put yourself in it to win it, and you got to make a play. Let's see who from Barbados maybe can make a play on this side out.
Now, Bolanos Alvarado back for his 3rd rotation serving in this set. Put some spin on the serve. Yearwood able to handle that, get that to his setter. Kayal going to work 2 blockers out, back onto the Barbados side. And Brown really couldn't corral the ball as he was diving forward, trying to play that off the net. And now Costa Rica with a chance. Set point.
Set point, and we got some excited Costa Rica fans down in front of us, and I love it. You're going to hold the one finger up in the air, Tim, which we're quite familiar with from the Spartans. And again, try to get the slow clap going, but then they call a timeout. So we'll have to wait to see if they get it going after the timeout.
We should explain to everyone. So we've got some chemistry, some degree of chemistry. That's because Ryan and myself, we are the broadcasters at Trinity Western University. So that is not in Burnaby, but not too far from Burnaby. I mean, how long did it take you to get here from?
Yeah, only about 30 minutes. Yeah, it's not that far down the road. Yeah,
about 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, exactly. So again, Trinity Western University, and we've also got a connection to the Canadian coach, as Adam Schreimer is the coach of the men's volleyball team at the university, the Trinity Western Spartans, and he is the coach for Team Canada at this tournament. Talking to Adam before this tournament, I'm talking about, like, you know, what was it like with selection? He said, we had to do an online selection, an online application. And to me, because I'm not a guy necessarily involved, I'm kind of surprised. Like, how do you do that type of thing?
Yeah, well, they will have some players, but we'll talk about it after this.
Bolanos Alvarado, set point. Yearwood handles the ball. Brown, no points to give for Barbados, and they don't give up any points.
Great swing from Barbados. I was just going to say, Tim, they do have, like, you know, a pool of players they're already kind of pulling from with their National Excellence program as well. But yeah, I mean, the guys that are playing, all these guys played provincials last weekend with their club team, and then they're going to nationals next weekend. So they're just in the middle here of the pretty busy volleyball season.
Off of the Davis serve. Once again, Costa Rica will have set points as that comes from the right side with Watson Brenes.
He's got a really good serve here. Hasn't been able to hit it too much yet, but if he does, man, watch out.
Montiel Orozco. He went on a serving run earlier on this set, but not going to happen this time as he goes 2 feet too far and has a quick discussion with coach Robert Carlo Quesada. So the middle will step off. Aguedes Campos wearing the contrasting red jersey as the libero. This ball's not going to go over. It's back-to-back service errors, and this puts Costa Rica up by 1 once again with set point.
Yeah, set point here, and you know, it's interesting because they see, you know, especially the Costa Rican coach kind of getting on those guys for missing serves, but you want them to stay aggressive here. Yeah,
this drops in for an untouched ace. Watson Brenes, an ace to end it in the second set. A heartbreaking way for Barbados, a team that was up late in the set. They let it drop, and now elimination is on the line. It's a must-win set for Barbados coming up. You were watching the 2026 NORCECA U19 Boys Continental Cup on CBC Sports. Tim James and Ryan Adams with the call on CBC Sports. Thank you so much for joining us on your Thursday night, depending on where you are watching from, as I do imagine we have viewers from right around the world. This is the 2026 NORCECA U19 Boys Continental Cup. What is on the line? It is qualifying for the World Championship. The top 4 teams will make it. In this match, Barbados, Costa Rica, the team that loses will not be one of the top 4 teams. They will instead go to the 7-8 final match to play at this tournament. Do you think that pressure is mounting on Barbados right now? Are they thinking a whole lot about that for Coach John Stewart and the team?
Well, you know, you hope not, but of course we're all human and it's natural to kind of let that slip into your mind, and you know, as you let that second step, you know, slip away somewhat. But this, again, is a great learning opportunity, and every chance you get to put yourselves in these different situations at this level will only build their players for the future. So obviously they're hoping for a win this set and a win this match, but either way, how they come out, how they play, you know, in this set will say a lot about this team and where their minds are at and where the future is for them.
And this is also a match where you can look at the other coaches for the other teams because they are watching, they are taking notes. And when I talked to the Canadian coach, Adam Schreimer, ahead of this tournament, the first match for Canada was Barbados, and I said, hey, Adam, what can you tell me about Barbados? And he said, Tim, I can't tell you anything. I don't know much about this team because it's not like there's game film. Like, talk about the difference when you're talking about a university team. Well, you can watch the Alberta Golden Bears. You know their star players. It's different when you're talking internationally with a team that doesn't grow up playing together.
Well, especially at this age, you know, if you're talking about our, you know, our national B team, our next gen team, or you know, obviously our senior men's, senior women's team, you know, there's going to be lots of footage on those athletes. But you know, a lot of these athletes, it's their first international competition, and so you know, for them, you know, not only is there not a lot of footage of them playing at this level, this is not a lot of footage of them in general. Just this is their maybe first experience for a lot of these athletes wearing their country's flag. So you know, cool moments, cool opportunities for them and their families and their friends and family at home probably watching. But yeah, it's a new experience for a lot of them, and that makes it harder to plan the scout as a coach.
It's always fun when we have international volleyball, with this tournament being hosted at Simon Fraser University at the top of Burnaby Mountain. We're not far outside of the city of Vancouver, which you may know. This is beautiful Burnaby, driving up here just an hour or so ago, and it's just driving up basically into a forest. Beautiful wide road, a forest. Lots of trails around. Something I got to do more of is try the trails on Burnaby Mountain.
Well, yeah, and my volleyball BC office, I don't know, Tim, is just on the side of Burnaby Mountain. So when I used to go to the office, I don't anymore, but I'd go for a walk, and I could have walked all the way up here if I wanted to.
What a great de-stressor. But there are never any stressful days at Volleyball BC.
No, it's all great, all good, all the time.
Yes, that is Ryan Adams from Volleyball BC, bringing the expertise as the color commentator in this broadcast. My name is Tim James. And this is Mr. Brown, who will get us back underway. The setter for Barbados. They're able to run in system. But that will be Pierre, who will launch that one out of play with a roll shot. Was hoping to maybe roll a little more, but doesn't drop inside.
Yeah, not the best start if you're Barbados, especially being down 0-2, but you got to stay with it, stay aggressive.
Montiel Orozco. Let's see what he can do from behind the service line. He is a middle, goes back. No libero out there right now for Costa Rica. Pierre coming through from the right side will pick up the first point for Barbados in this third set. A must-win set for Barbados. Pierre, the captain. Going to go down the line, and Costa Rica will score.
Yeah, and you know, if I'm at some college, you know, Canadian university colleges or universities watching this, that's a guy I'm looking at playing. You know, there is some connection. You know, some of those connections I had in Costa Rica led to some of those players ending up playing at Briarcrest College in Saskatchewan. So maybe there's some of those guys watching tonight.
Barbados some trouble with that Mario Dobles light serve. It is off speed and going to work once again. Bolanos Alvarado, who leads in this match in points, picks up another one here with the left side attack.
Yeah, and he's picking up where he left off, and again, great swing, great smoothness to his approach in his game. Love watching him play so far.
This drops in for an ace, and there you go. The setter, Murillo Dobles. With the ace, big point, 4-1 lead now for Costa Rica. Costa Rica keep the momentum going. Bolanos Alvarado sends that cross court. That's 4 straight points for Costa Rica.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, I feel like, I think Barbados has made some changes to their lineup and there's some different players on the floor at the moment.
Barbados does have Greenidge out there, not one of the starters. Kyle Greenidge will actually take this ball, wearing number 5 for Barbados, goes over to the right side. And Callan's going to launch this down and score.
Callan, and I wasn't sure if the libero, but maybe they're playing a two libero system sometimes. I can't remember, but again, this is my first time watching these teams play, so it could just be my foggy brain.
Off the Davis serve. No libero out there right now for Barbados as Yearwood is off. Greenidge shut down. Celebration, raising his arm in the air is Bruno Ramirez.
Yeah, again, Ramirez, he'd be another guy I'd want to show a lot of the kids I train because, again, not that tall, not that big, but just really efficient with his movement, especially his lateral movement. And that starts with having great eye work and great impulse into the ground and moving left and right very quickly.
Bolanos Alvarado, huge toss, good spin on that serve. Brown with the back set over to Callan. And Callan forcing Costa Rica to try to track that one down. And once again, taking a hard bump is Watson Brenes. He was the player who went to the stands yesterday. Took a little while to get up. In this case, he's got a smile on his face. Back in that second set, I believe it was, Murillo Dobles had a ball go off of his head. He appears to be no worse for wear. Clapping his hands, trying to get his team together. That ball is going to go into the net. And the middles will go front to back on the Costa Rica side with Bruno Ramirez next to serve. Pierre, not a great first contact. Still an attack able to be made by Barbados. Woo. The block late going over and flexing his muscle is Watson Brenes.
Yeah, Brenes doing a nice job. A really great right side swing. Here we see in the replay. Goes, approaches straight on. Kind of had that almost like a little bit of a crossbody, but down the line crossbody, which kind of allows you to find that kind of around the block into the seam of the court, which is very hard to defend. You kind of see the libero being like, give his hands up, like, hey, what am I supposed to do there? I can't take all that court. But if you're libero in that situation or any defender, you kind of want to put yourself in the middle of the zone and kind of think about like a piece of pie, from the hitter's hand to where you are, what's the angle that they could hit, and put yourself in the middle. And I think the libero that time just kind of stayed to the line versus kind of reading the situation and maybe moving off the line a little bit.
And these players have a lot of potential too, because these are younger players, Ryan. Typically we're calling players that are in university, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, that type of thing. I want to talk about Pierre Gill. He is on the Barbados side, just 15 years old. He just turned 15 a few months ago in February. And he's the captain of the team for Barbados. Whole lot of potential ahead. Back underway, and some miscommunication on the Barbados side. John Stewart, the coach, isn't going to like that one. That's 3 straight points now for Costa Rica, and a 6-point lead in the third set after a closely contested second set. Perhaps one of the most exciting sets that we have seen in Pool A in this tournament. Brown going over to Greenidge. Couldn't get through. Second time will work, as that's going to go and finally be that side out that Barbados needed. Could now they generate some points together. They trail by 5.
Well, speaking about the coach, Tim, I don't even notice this, but the coach has left the building from Barbados. He's not out there at the moment.
That's a good point. Taking a look over at the bench, not seeing him. Yearwood pops this ball up, but that is going to be out of play. And the players wisely don't try to track that one down with some signage, ball cart, humans in the way.
Stewart coming back onto the court. And it's like maybe he had a bathroom break.
That's Pierre who's going to serve, or rather hit that long. And point for Costa Rica. And this will bring up Watson Brenes once again.
So it's getting out of hand a little bit. Brenes loves the quick serve off the whistle, Tim, and that's how they actually won that, got that ace on that second set. You know, we were still chatting, and the whistle went, boom, served it in. It wasn't a hard serve, and dropped it in the corner.
What do you think about the standing serve at this age? Does that matter?
I mean, as long as it's effective. So, you know, it's been effective so far, but, you know, I'm not sure about the other teams, how effective it's been.
And off of the Ashby serve, it will be a point for Barbados, and Joshua Ashby will go back once again, one of the younger players on the Barbados team, as he turned 15 earlier on this year. Here's Brown pushing over to the pin, the block going up, the coverage is there. Nice job by Davis on the first ball. This will be tight to the net, turning into pretty much a joust. Murillo Dobles going up. It'll be a Costa Rica point.
And Barbados has got to find a little bit of something here, right? Again, you might not win this match or this set, but, you know, find a little bit of pride, find a little bit of execution, and just keep building.
Brown. That was a bit behind Pierre, but he's still able to make a decent contact as he was reaching back and drops it in to score.
Yeah, great shot there from Pierre. Did that high snap. It was a decent amount off the net, like you said, Tim, and so you have to have pretty good hand control to aim that ball, and he sniped it in.
Brown back for his second rotation, serving, gets this ball across. There's the 2 ball sent over by Murillo Dobles, and Barbados can't handle it. And things are just falling apart for Barbados. Looking at the disappointment of Brown, the setter, just with his head down. And just high-fiving his teammates, but just doing it out of just routine.
Yeah, obligation, almost routine, like you said. Yeah, and again, you know, I just say, hey, this is our opportunity to play against another team. You know, my guess is Tim just doing a lot of sort of volleyball internationally is that, you know, they don't get the opportunity to play against a lot of international matches, especially at this level. You know, I doubt they have a ton of money in the federation to kind of go and travel here, travel there. I mean, even Canada, for crying out loud, we have a hard time with funding these things. So, you know, here's an opportunity. It's just a great chance to get better, play against a good team, and hopefully have some fun.
Davis running in the way of Brown. He was trying to track that down second ball. And again, that's something we've seen, and I'm not sure if it's age-related or the fact that these players haven't played a lot together, but there's been a number of times that the setter is not able to get clearly through. Murillo Dobles. Nice job by Campos to get under that ball. Here's Brown. Kyle Greenidge tipping it over. Alonis Alvarado with the finish on the left side, flexes his muscle, and Barbados has already burned one timeout. When will they take another one? But look, a substitution coming up with Kai White. We haven't seen a lot of him, but coming in, and he will take over as the setter in place of Enrico Brown. So this is a big substitution. Can this switch the momentum? We have somebody different running the offense. White. Kyle. That was tipped off the block. Yearwood. Here's White. He's going to try the other side. Not just going to power on back-to-back plays, trying to get comfortable out there, but Barbados will not score.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. White just a little bit off there, but I thought, you know, hey, decent rhythm for him, and he didn't really get a ton of support from his teammates coming in there. It's tough to come in as a setter anytime, let alone, you know, down 16-8.
Pierre gets a good ball to White. Send it over to Callan. So there you go, a nice 1-2-3. Barbados with something to shine. And the assist to White.
Yeah, great run here from White. Great set, wrist away, deep corner, perfect shot.
Davis standing serve. He goes into the net, and again, tilting his head back is John Stewart because Barbados is hoping to build something here. Still one timeout remaining. You've got to fight at this point. We've got to change at the center position. 1 timeout remaining. Can Barbados somehow generate some offense, generate some points? And going back to serve is a threat. Bolanos Alvarado. Yearwood gets that to White. That was a bit tight for Ashby, but he's going to get the touch with that middle run and the score, and a second assist to White.
Yeah, good job by Ashby. I think that's one of the benefits of sitting a little bit higher is you give you a little bit more time. He recognizes that ball was tight, kind of just intentionally I'm going for the hands and out of bounds. He wasn't trying for anything else there besides that.
Service substitution for Barbados as they trail by 7 points. The number 7, Theon Burkett, coming in, and it'll now be an 8-point difference as he goes softly into the mesh. Middles will rotate front to back on the Costa Rica side. Barona Ramirez. Arguedas Campos, the libero, off joining his teammates, getting some high fives. You might be able to see from the corner of your screen. Here's White. Cayal goes nicely off the block. 2 blockers there and redirects it off of Montiel Orozco's hands and down onto the ground on the Costa Rica side.
Yeah, and this is the time, because any time it's got to be now, Tim, in 18-11. Big task, but it's got to start somewhere.
Burkett, first contact, White. Forced to pass this ball up, and Pierre takes that hard to position 6. Rio Dobles went down to the ground to make that set. Now White, big push. That was Pierre trying to keep it alive with a foot. Not going to do it. Costa Rica will score. It's an 8-point lead for Costa Rica.
Yeah, but I like how Barbados is playing there, right? Not giving up, finding a bit of flow, just a little bit unlucky on that block. There's that quick serve again. Oh, what? Oh, timeout.
I believe we had timeout, yeah, for Barbados. Yeah.
they're so dialed in to getting that quick serve off, they didn't realize there was a timeout being called.
Timeout with an 8-point difference. Second and final timeout taken by Barbados. Perhaps one final discussion here for John Stewart to try to get his team to figure something out, string some points together. This is the 2026 NORCECA U19 Boys Continental Cup. Day number 3 of the tournament, the final day of the preliminary round. After today, we will know where the teams are seated heading into the quarterfinals and the semifinals. The top team, by the way, in each pool will get a bye and automatically play in a semifinal. In Pool A, will it be Canada? Will it be Mexico? 2 very good teams, and guess what? If you got no other plans, join us, because coming up at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock if you're watching in places like Ontario, it will be Canada and Mexico on CBC Sports. Back to the action through that second and final timeout by Barbados. Rio Dobles. That'll be sent down the line, popped up by Burkett. It went off the roof, and I thought maybe we were going to see that play where if it stayed on their side, they could play it. In this case, no, it was unplayable, a point for Costa Rica.
Yeah, I know we don't see that at the U Sports level, Tim, but in the club level, that is a rule in high school, so we do see it quite a bit.
And here I was, I just thought it was my recreation volleyball I play on Wednesdays. Which
you could play club ball. I mean, you're too old now. You could.
Yeah, well, when do you age out of club volleyball? I'm still in my 30s.
Yeah. Might
too
be a
old?
bit too low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we tried. Here's Ashby. His team behind by 8. Rio Dobles getting the set over to the left side and making it look easy. Cedeno Arias.
Yeah, great run there. A nice little roll up and over, perfectly placed, you know. Especially from a smaller left side to be able to do that well over top of the block. Takes a lot of talent.
Here's White. Over to Pierre. Nicely done as that's wiped off the block, comes over, lands on the near side with a kill. We've seen some brilliance here from Barbados. There have been some nice plays. It's just getting in systems, just building momentum. They haven't had a lot of that momentum in any of the 3 sets. Bolanos Alvarado picking up the left side kill. Rodriguez Vaquez now coming in as a libero. He will switch out. As middles will go front to back, and you can see Costa Rica now playing with their lineup. looking at a sizable lead here in the third set and perhaps looking ahead as they will be playing in the quarterfinals if they beat Barbados, and that could be sooner than later. Cordero Ibarra will be off on that. Liz Yoon, we've seen referee, of course, U Sports matches here in Canada. She's on the line, lifting the flag there to indicate that went out. Pierre off speed, back onto the Barbados side. Yearwood looking for an assist as the libero. Callan has that come right back at him. And saying nah, is Burano Ramirez. Setter to the back row for Costa Rica. White. And this Callan with the delivery from the right side. Lonas Alvarado couldn't finish as that was handled in position 6. And then White, not the perfect connection to Callan, who had to reach back to play that ball. Yearwood. Over to Callan. It's a decent set, miss-hit ball, and here we go. It is match point. And some of the Costa Rican fans standing on their feet, clapping their hands, trying to bring some energy. Even Bolanos Alvarado looking over. The horns are going. Match point. No points to give for Barbados. Kayal is going to send this out, and Costa Rica will take it. It's an ugly finish for Barbados, but Costa Rica, with their first victory of the tournament, taking it in straight sets over Barbados, although it was a competitive second set.
Yeah, competitive second set. Even the first set was not bad. That set, unfortunately, just got away from Barbados, being down 2-0. I think just was a little bit too much for them. Felt a little bit let down from that second set loss, but good job from Costa Rica sticking with it, not letting their foot off the gas, staying strong, finishing through, and coming out with a 3-set victory.
So now for Barbados, the next step will be playing the team that finishes 4th in Pool B. It's not exactly what they're looking for, but there still is some more volleyball to play because, Ryan, you were talking about it. You're playing international volleyball. You're here as a team. This is a great opportunity to learn and to grow as a team that is representing your country.
Yeah, 100%, especially at this age, this level, right? This is all new probably for most of these players, and just a chance to have another international match is a big deal at this stage for these athletes in their development. So, got a day to reset, go again, and then just come back the next day and learn from today, learn from the tournament, and keep building the program. It's not just their team, right? It's the volleyball for their country that they're being a part of building.
Costa Rica has advanced. The flag is out. The photos are coming up. Celebration. If you are watching right now in San Jose or around the world cheering for Costa Rica, congratulations go out to you and your team. And this match started at 6 o'clock Pacific. It ended at 7:17. Total time, 1 hour and 17 minutes. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Time for Ryan and myself to get ready for the next one. Canada and Mexico, 2 undefeated teams going head-to-head on CBC Sports. It's time for us to say goodbye for now. For Director of Communications, Jackie Skender, and the whole crew at Volleyball Canada, Mike producing this broadcast, and Ryan Adams doing the color commentary. My name is Tim James, and at 7:17 Pacific, we say good night from Simon Fraser University.